Hi, that's Rob here from the gym team. Now, welcome to Restorative Stretch, where today we're looking at the perfect daily stretch routine. Grab yourself a pint of water, take a sip, and look around your lips. Hydrate. Okay, so from there, let's find the space. Just check around one way, then the other. Make sure you've got plenty of room. Okay, so from here, standing with our feet fist up apart. Let's work up through our calf raise. Nice, slow, controlled movements. Now, after you've done a couple of these, I want you to reassess your stance. So, taking your fist, place it between your feet, and you might find you need to step in just a little bit closer. Second thing, I want you to check your toes, your second toe is nice and parallel, which might mean that you feel like you're turning your toes inwards to maintain your movement. Lift your chest, drive your pelvis forward, tighten up your glutes, and lift and center your body. As you're doing this, feel your big toe to your little toe square down to the floor. I want you to push yourself up to a position where you feel like you have to take that step forward. And that is your range. That's where I want you to work up and through to. Push, lift, and slow control back down. See if you can do this with your arms rested by your side. What happens to your feet? Do you push more on the lateral side of your foot or on the inside of your foot? Keep your glutes nice and engaged. Keep your shoulders back, get your chest lifted. Again, check that foot position. Check your toe position. Fire up through your glutes and lift your torso. Slow control, lower back down again. Keep these movements nice, slow and controlled. Let's work 3 more here. Now try and do these last couple with your eyes closed. Feel what happens in your feet. Every time the heels just gently kissing the floor and using everything within your toes to eventually allow yourself to pivot through and release. From here, let's work through to the right side, flexing lateral to the side. Come back up. Come back to lateral right. Rotate. Come back again and lift. Again, firing through the glutes. Trying to create some rotation through the body and lifting again. And again. Side flex, rotate medial, turn back to lateral, lift. This is not a race. This isn't how many can you do. I'd sooner have one with great quality where you're really thinking about what the muscle fibers are doing. Before lifting back up. Let's do one more here. And releasing. Shake out the hips. Roll your pelvis. Let's tilt to the other side. Rotate medial. You should feel a nice stretch to the lateral side of your body. Or lifting back up again. Tilt. Rotate. Pull back 3. And lift up. Do one more here. Again, feel big toe, little toe, squeeze down to the floor. Feel the rotation through the column of the spine. Lift back up. From here, lifting both arms up, and extending through your body. Feel again your big toe to little toe down to the floor and making it into a tripod with the heel as well. So your big foot, your big toe, your little toe, and your heel all centered and grounded. Get your pelvis driven forward and stretch and lift up through your arms. Take yourself as tall as you feel comfortable whilst your feet remain grounded to the floor. Tilt lateral to the left side, extending through your arms. Try and get as much lift through the body as you can. Control lift back to center. Go again, same side. Again, remembering that those feet stay that fist gap apart. We center and lift the body again before tilting. Now each time I want you to center your body again and then lift up straight up overhead. One more here. And release, shake up the shoulders. Just want to hunch and roll. Two more here. One more here. Changing, stretching, lifting, elevate and push. Good work. Coming back up. And again, stretch, lift center, side lateral. And then twist and turn to get that extension all the way through the upper back. Returning back to middle, lift again to center. Tilt again. Rotate through torso. Lift back up. Center and lift again. Two more here. One more here. Center and lift again. And release. Side flex. Keeping it slow and easy. Release. Placing your hands on top of your thighs. Keeping the legs nicely extended. Nice big stretch all the way through the back of your legs. Feel your big toe to your little toe square flat to the floor. From here, we're going to take our feet to wide position. So again, we're going to keep the toes turned in. We're going to flex and drop down. Now, by keeping the feet nice and parallel to each other, you should feel a bit of a lengthening on the inner thigh of the hamstring. So the inner side of that hamstring into those semitendinosus and membranous muscles, they're finding that little bit extra stretch. If we turn our feet out, so turning our toes, lifting the toes and turning, but keeping the heels where they are, you should feel an equal stretch through both the medial and lateral fibers of your hamstrings. So the semicisters and the hamstrings of fibers of the bicep femoris, they're all finding that same stretch. So it should feel quite equal. If we turn the feet out slightly more and we sit through into the stretch again, you might find a little bit more of a stretch perhaps on the lateral fibers. And that should run all the way through the back of your legs and might come down into the calves and soleus as well, right into the back of that Achilles. You'll certainly be feeling this right through the back of the hamstring fibers. Stick your bottom back as far as you feel comfortable before slowly walking the feet, turn the toes back into that neutral position. So again, our big toe to our little toe is flat to the floor. Feel a nice big stretch all the way through the back of the leg. Again, we're going to turn our toes in so that the toes are still nicely parallel to each other. Second toe is nice and parallel. Again, the legs fully extended. Big stretch all the way through the back of the legs. From here, slowly walking your hands back up your thighs through into standing to stretch, to elongate. From here, keeping the toes nice and parallel, so second toes are parallel, we turn and rotate on our column, feeling a nice stretch all the way through the length of our body. Rotate back to middle, twist, turn to the other side. You might find a bit of a stretch and a lengthening coming through into those adductors as you're standing. Get your pelvis tightly driven forward. Get your body up nice and straight and lengthen. From here, releasing, shaking out your hips, rolling down onto the floor. From here, we're going to lay on our right side. Taking our hand to our left foot. We're going to keep a little gap between the knees as we drive our hips forward and feel a stretch in the front of that thigh. If you can't reach your foot, grab a towel, fold it in half, make it into a leash and wrap it over that foot. You'll be able to get a nice strong pull all the way through that leg. Should feel a nice lengthening all the way through the front of the thigh. From here, we're going to allow our knees, should be slightly stacked one on top of the other. But can you take that knee back just slightly and then give just a gentle movement forward with the pelvis again, so you're feeling a deeper stretch through the front of the thigh. And then if you can, with our pressure through I've got my left foot into flexion here, left knee in flexion. What I'm just trying to do is push through that shin. So you're giving a bit of muscle energy technique to these guys. So we're pushing the foot away, restricting the movement by holding the front of the bridge of the foot. Slowly releasing, extending the leg back out through into extension. And release, rolling over onto the left side. Picking up the right foot. Again, keeping a gap between the knees. And feeling a nice big stretch all the way through the front of the right thigh. Again, keep a little gap between your heel and your bottom. Keep your head rested to the side. Feel a big stretch all the way through the front of the right thigh. And when you feel ready, you can gently pull that knee back slightly. We can apply a bit of pressure through the bridge of that foot, pushing back against our hand. Feel a nice deep stretch all the way through the front of the right thigh. Slowly releasing your fat slightly. And again, see if you can get a bit more hip extension. Keeping the gap between the knees. Heel to your bottom. Pelvis driven forward. Slowly releasing, extending the top leg. Shaking that out before rolling over to your front. Taking your feet together, sticking your knees out wide, taking yourself 3 into our child's pose position. We're going to extend the arms out away from us, having a bit of a gap between the arms and the hands that's at least the body width. Keep your bottom back, just hovering over the heels. From here, allowing your hands to walk away from you, so far as to keep the elbows flat to the floor and the forearms as well. Web your fingers out nice and wide. Keep your bottom back over the heels as much as you feel comfortable. From here we come out of this press-up position and we tuck our left knee forward, extend our right leg. We've got the left knee folded, so we're sitting roughly laterally on the side of that thigh. We'll drop down onto our forearms if we can. We're going to stick our hip slightly further out laterally to the left side. Got a deeper stretch all the way through the outside of the hip. From here, see if you can play with this stretch. So you're going to rotate slightly, so your left hip is coming closer to the floor. You're going to pull yourself up and trying to get your right hip closer to the floor. So you're rotating over the middle of the body. Play with this stretch. Find the point that you feel that stretch most. So that for me, I have my left knee forward. I can feel this more on the outside of my left hip as the left hip gets closer to the floor. So rotate through, so my right hip is coming over. I'm feeling a bit of a stretch in the groin of the left side of the body. And I'm getting some extension out the right hip flexor as well. It may be completely different for you. Just play with that stretch and see how it's working. From here, we're going to slowly walk back out the stretch. Extend the left knee. Lift the right leg back up. Tuck that right foot through. Again, we're going to roll down onto our forearms. Feel a big stretch on the outside of the right thigh. So you're going to feel a big stretch on the outside of the right hip. Just hold that stretch initially. From here, gently rolling and finding that new bite point. Or rolling across the body again. Again, we're trying to get the left hip across down towards the ground. And again, play with this stretch. Roll to the left. And then roll back into the right. Let's go one more here. Again, playing around with the stretch. Feeling that point, holding that point. And releasing. Slowly coming out of this stretch. Take yourself back through into kneeling, drive your pelvis forward, lift your shoulders back, chest lift. From here, we're going to stand and relax. Good luck. From there, shake off your hands, interlock your fingers, roll one way, roll back the other way. Well trained. Jazz up those exercises. Perfect daily stretch routine there for you. 20 minutes of just getting yourself in the zone. Use it as your cool down for the day, as your stretch down for the day. Maybe use it as your enlightening and get yourself waking up, ready for the day ahead. Try it. Say how you get on with it. As always, leave me any feedback and get in contact if I can help. Well trained. See you next time for the next one. Let's grab our water as always. Well trained. Cheers.